Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, I ride the Amtrak just about every week. And this accident really hit home. Ms. Feinberg and Mr. Boardman, can you speak to the future of Amtrak and passenger rail if Congress continues to use patchwork approach to funding improvements?
Well, I'd like to, Mr. Sears, say, and I've said many times, and especially the Chairman, I think, that my concern has been the reliability of the railroad, the reliability of what we do for our hardware on our catenary system, the reliability of our use of tunnels, whether it is in New York or whether it's through the Baltimore tunnels, that our reliability on the Portal Bridge that's ready to be rebuilt that doesn't always shut properly. So the funding for infrastructure on the Northeast Corridor is absolutely behind the curve. In the last reauthorization of our funding in the PREA Act, there was a commission that was established of all the states, the federal government, and Amtrak along the Northeast Corridor. And that's where the $21 billion backlog really came from, of the necessity for us to rebuild an equity investment in this corridor. We also have a requirement because of the growth of traffic on this corridor, and we're handling over 2,000 trains a day on the corridor, Amtrak does, is that we need more capacity, which means we need some new assets as well, some new tunnels into New York, another new bridge going into New York especially, and we need to fix this Baltimore choke point that we have along the corridor. So from my perspective, that's where the funding is really needed. We make safety decisions based on safety, and the infrastructure decisions were being made based on the available funds.
Thank you. Mr. Hart, I just can't understand, this is 2015, and we're still analyzing whether seatbelts would have made a difference. You know, I certainly agree with Congressman Capuano that all these cars, planes, they have shown that it works, and I don't understand why in 2015 we're still analyzing this. And in terms of people walking around in the train, I mean, people get up and walk on a plane too, right? But you take your life in your hands sometimes when you walk around these trains with back and forth. So, Mr. Hart, can you answer that? I mean, I just don't see why we have to analyze this anymore. We are analyzing this thing to what?
Thank you for the question. We're looking at the total situation, not just the seat belts, but also the integrity of the seats themselves. As Administrator Feinberg mentioned, there were several seats that came detached. So we're looking at the totality of circumstances regarding how to protect the occupants.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, we're looking at the seats. It just seems logical to me that seat belts would make a difference. And to wait to analyze it more and more and more, I don't get it. I mean, I'd be comfortable wearing a seatbelt, and I go on that train Mondays and Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays. I don't see it. We have to wait for this. Ms. Feinberg, can you talk to that?
In my experience, the NTSB is not shy about recommending improvements to safety. And so we will work closely with them, and anything that comes out of this accident, we will work very closely in.
Would you say this is one of the cheapest recommendations that you can make?
On seatbelts?
Yes.
No, I would not.
It's more expensive than all the other recommendations.
It is implementing seatbelts, and again, you know, I be deferential to Mr. Hart here, but implementing seatbelts on trains would require the change of every seat, which would, again, expense is not the priority here, but we would have to harden all of the seats.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.